The opinions and views expressed in the following video are for entertainment purposes only. They do not reflect the views of Twin Galaxies, Persistent Productions, or any of its affiliates.
What is up, gamers and gamettes? Welcome to episode number 17 of the Twin Galaxies show. What's up, guys?
Ooh, not much. We are almost legal, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel good today.
Yeah, 17. I get it now.
Now I do too. I'm slow on the uptake, but we're not. It's the show now, huh?
Yeah, it's the show.
Yeah, cool.
This is the Twin Galaxies show.
I like that. Sounds good.
Yeah. If you want to see what the Twin Galaxies show really has in store for you, March 19th and 20th, we are going to be at the Kong Off. This is one of the biggest events in competitive gaming history up till now. Easy. We're going to have the top names in all of competitive gaming. Well, when it comes to Donkey Kong, I should say. But, you know, Billy Mitchell's going to be there, Steve Wiebe, Hank Chen, a whole list of others. If you need to know about the Kong Off, which all you gamer fans I know do, check us out right here on the Twin Galaxies show. Watch the posts on twingalaxies.com, because this is going to be the place to find out anything and everything about the Kong Off. March 19th and 20th. We'll be on again before then. Yeah. You know, we're going to have other shows before then. Plus, you know, there's going to be a ton of posts. So just keep it going and then stay tuned right here to, you know, find out everything about the Kong Off. Wednesday, February 9th, though, maybe even bigger than the Kong Off, the Twin Galaxies live show edition.
Yeah.
Bubble Bobble Plus 3-player record is going to be attempted.
Plus what?
Streaming live, just Bubble Bobble Plus.
Okay, plus what?
Plus the third player.
Who's on first?
Okay.
Who's it going to be?
Bubble Bobble Plus 3-player record will be attempted by myself, fellow host Mike Soroka, and also, of course, brought in special for this game,
the ringer, Nikki Hilton.
No, even better, the Paris Hilton of competitive video gaming, Ed Zaharsky.
Oh man,
we'll be live in studio with us, every gamer's best friend, or every famous gamer's best friend,
for
Ed
no
Zaharsky.
reason whatsoever, but he is.
We will be taking calls live that day on the Twin Galaxies show live edition.
Will we be screening those calls? Because Ed draws a lot of fire from the...
From the blogosphere.
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. But yeah, that'll be February 9th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on twingalaxies.com. Also, the next edition of the Twin Galaxies Show Live will be Saturday, February 19th, 8:30 again. Okay. Inaugural records will be set on a Neo Geo cabinet.
Oh, sweet.
That's all we're revealing right now. We're going to have a whole host of people coming in to play on a Neo Geo cabinet, set some inaugural world records on a game that's actually just recently been mapped out.
Inaugural records
for TGI.
So we got some busy times ahead of us.
Oh, we do. Yeah. We do. It's going to be a busy couple months, and it's going to be busy for the viewers because they're going to be watching all this stuff like crazy. We're going to be putting out a ton of content. More content than you can shake a hammer at a barrel at. Perhaps.
As long as you're allowed to use that hammer.
Yes, yes. Speaking of being allowed to use the hammer, Hank Chen was allowed to use the hammer.
That's what I heard.
When he did drop the hammer when he just rebroke, because he is the former record holder.
Almost a year ago, or was it like 10 months ago or something like that?
Yep, but Donkey Kong for the arcade. Points, 1,068,000 points set by Hank Chen from New York, New York. Also from the arcade, Galaga tournament settings set by a IVGOF inductee, Andrew Laidlaw from Kirkland, Washington, 4,525,150 points, which seems on par to break the marathon record as well.
That's good. That's real good.
So laying down the law.
Keep checking out Twin Galaxies in case that happens.
And it's Galaga again, not Galaga, right?
Yes. Now it is, once again, will be referred to as Galaga because
we got it
the champion gets to pick how you say it. So Galaga, sorry to Phil Day, it will no longer be called Galaga in the circles that matter.
And we've got an interview with him coming, right?
Yes, we do. We do.
With Andrew Laidlaw.
With Andrew Laidlaw, yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Yes. And continuing with the arcade, Rampage points. This is a 2-player team. 387,200 points by Jimmy Sacco and Stephanie Jones from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And also Tron points. Everybody's talking Tron right now with the new movie release. 11,125,999 points by David Cruz from Brandon, Florida. Live show events.
Yes, indeed.
In case you missed it,
Oh, yeah.
for the Xbox 360 arcade, the Portal Still Alive story mode fastest completion was thrown down live right here in Livonia, Michigan by Chris Archer. He completed the game in 44 minutes and 28 seconds. You can check out the streaming show if you wish right here on Twin Galaxies.
Fizzle.
Other records, we also, for the PS3, have Super Street Fighter 4 arcade mode, points, tournament settings, 2,587,000 points by Rob Seymour from Newcastle, UK, and DJ Hero, Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby versus MC Hammer, You Can't Touch This, points, 132,664 points by Wouter Lugtenaar from the Netherlands. Check that one out.
Very cool. For the Wii, we have Madden NFL 07, Play Now mode, biggest blowout, 47 points by Matthew Runnels of Crest Hill, Illinois. For the Nintendo DS, we have Mario Kart DS, Mushroom Bridge, best lap, 32.349 from Matthew Masaki in Adelaide, Australia. We also, for the Nintendo DS, have Planet Puzzle League, Endless, high score, 156,715 from Lance Eustace in Arvern, New York.
Lance, he's back.
Little Lance is back.
Good work, Lance.
Yes, indeed. For the PlayStation, we have Tetris Plus Classic Mode, most lines, 59, John Pompa from Reynoldsville. And for the Super Nintendo, we have Contra 3, The Alien Wars, 5,240,866 points from Isaiah Triforce Johnson of Brooklyn, New York.
Beautiful.
We also have Super Adventure Island, points 656,300 from Brandon LaCroix in Walhalla, South Carolina.
For the Sega Genesis, Sonic the Hedgehog, points, 644,880, tournament settings. Eric Schaefer from Houston, Texas. For the Game Boy, Double Dragon, fastest completion, 18 minutes and 31 seconds by James Sorge of Jackson, New Jersey. For the regular NES, Kirby's Adventure, fastest completion, 1 hour, 13 minutes and 17 seconds by David Archie of Columbus, Ohio. Mermaids of the Atlantis, The Riddle of the Magical Bubble, points, 8,592 by Ben Martin of Fancy Gap, Virginia. And Home Alone, points, 141,340 by Rudy Freddy of Henderson, Nevada. And I just wanted to point out that last month we did announce that Mark Marika achieved the same score. Both Rudy and Mark's submissions were received at the same time, and we're pretty sure that that 141,340 points is a perfect score. So congrats to both Mark and Rudy on sharing the world record.
Let's rewind in a minute.
Yeah.
Mermaids of what now?
The Mermaids of the Atlantis, The Riddle of the Magical Bubble.
Wow. Bubbles in the title. I kind of want to go for the record.
Uh-oh. Does that mean we have to do a live event about it?
I think
Perhaps.
there is so much whimsy in that game, it can only be played in where?
Fancy Gap, Virginia.
Fancy Gap, Virginia.
I will admit that I never played this game, but, I mean, that seems like a score I could beat.
Well, every game, perhaps you didn't know this hosting your own video game show, but every video game is different.
Oh, I'm like in Galaga, that could beat that in like...
Yeah, I'm sure if in Galaga you could beat that, maybe you could beat that score.
Hey, if I was given a couple tries.
You have to be in Fancy Gap to play it.
That's true.
So how are you going to get the cab fare, dude, to get all the way to Fancy Gap?
Well, I could just
Well,
ride on a mermaid.
You could hitch a ride with Adam Jack Balance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
He always goes to Fancy Gap.
Yeah,
I would
he has
hope
like access to everywhere, too.
Yeah, he
awesome.
runs Fancy Gap.
Yeah, he does. I've heard I've heard him talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's the mayor of Fancy Gap.
Yeah. We rode there together in the magical bubble.
You figured the riddle out?
Oh yeah, we figured out the riddle. Me and Adam Jack Bouts together.
Oh, that's so cool. Good for you, Adam. Thanks again for everything.
Okay, hi everybody. We are here with Galaga World Champion Andrew Laidlaw at his home. And where are you at, Andrew?
Kirkland, Washington.
Excellent, excellent. And as most of us know, you were the Galaga champion before, and actually on camera to me at the Hall of Fame, you had actually kind of expressed some discomfort with being inducted into IVGOF when you weren't the current record holder, but you seemed to put that to rest. So anything you want to add about that?
Well, yeah, that was when Walter asked us to come out there. It didn't really make sense to us at first because we weren't current record holders, but I guess that wasn't the reason they brought us in there. So I'll tell you what, me and Steve both felt when we came back to Washington after the end of the summer that we needed to get back on top with some records, and he beat me to it. He got his right at the end of the summer, and then mine followed shortly after.
Very cool. Yeah, you're mentioning, of course, Steve Wiebe. You guys live pretty close to each other, right?
Yeah, Steve's from Redmond. I'm from Kirkland. Those two cities are just right next to each other.
You had mentioned Steve Wiebe and your friendship. I'm, as people can probably see, wearing the Team Wiebe T-shirt, which was, of course, made by you. You are the creator of these, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Absolutely. That's how I met Steve. I took a box of those over to the school where he teaches after I saw the King of Kong. I went home right after that. I own a screen printing and embroidery business, so right after I saw the movie, I went home and created that logo, took a whole box of those over to his school so he could hand those out to students and whatnot, and we just subsequently became friends since then.
That's cool.
His school that he teaches at is about a half a mile from my house, so.
Oh, really?
Close. Yeah.
These were a pretty big hit at the IVGOF, too. A lot of people were admiring them. I believe you had one on. Steve Sanders was wearing one for a little bit, too.
Yeah, actually he was, yeah. In fact, he held one up in a press conference with Billy Mitchell as kind of a gag. Billy was talking about his new world record, and Steve slowly holds up a Team Wiebe T-shirt. That was pretty funny. I don't know if you were there for that.
I was there for that. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Nick unfortunately missed it. This is the first time you get to see Nick.
Absolutely. We talked about Nick, right?
Yeah, you and Phil did do a little segment, though, on about Nick and his inability to play the game of Galaga.
Yeah, Nick, I hear you're a big Galaga fan.
I am a huge Galaga fan, and I used to think I was good at Galaga until I saw the scores you guys put down, and I was like, oh, never mind, I'm not very good at Galaga. But I used to be. I was always the best out of our group of friends, but now, since they all came back from Iowa, I am no longer the best of my group of friends.
Yeah,
you'll get back up there. Do you have your own machine?
I do not have my own machine as of yet. I would love to get one, but right now I'm just not in the position to really. Actually, I just don't have anywhere to put one. So
I hear you. They take up a lot of room.
Is you obviously just beat the world record? Is that the machine behind you that you beat it on?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
What's that other cabinet next to it?
You know, that's it was a I've turned it into a multi-cade. I stripped everything out of it. It was a game called Looping. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yes.
By Venture Arts, and I got one in mint condition on Craigslist for $150. I was only after the cabinet, and right after I gutted the thing out and threw all the electronics away, some collector called me offering me a fortune for a looping machine, which I had never heard of, but everything was in the dumpster at that point. So we turned it into a 40-in-1. This is the game Steve comes over and teaches me Donkey Kong on. So,
excellent.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys had done a little teasing with Steve at in Iowa, talking about how he's not exactly the king of Galaga.
Well, Steve comes over here and he tries to play Galaga, and he's not good at it, but that's okay. He's fantastic at Donkey Kong, right? So he's horrible at Galaga, and when he gets double ships, he finds it harder to move through the bullets, and it's just because he hasn't spent enough time doing it. So he starts talking about there should be a world record where you just play with one ship, and Steve, I don't think Steve gets it there. That's not going to last very long. You get into the higher stages, one ship is futile. So
And I have a feeling that if you or Phil Day or John McAllister decided to play with only one ship, that you'd probably throw down a pretty big record pretty soon, pretty quick.
You would just die so fast. You gotta have two ships to just slaughter all those bugs, you know. In fact, you know, let's talk about the record that I set. In fact, one of the things about that record that was a big accomplishment for me and was kind of a goal. I didn't think it was really going to happen, but it did. Was I was trying to beat Phil's score without losing a ship, and I felt if I did that, I would really be in a position to run the score up. So I was having a great game. I surpassed his score by over 1 million points before I lost a ship. But just to show you how brutal that game is, I lost all remaining 5 ships in the next 300,000 points.
Wow.
So that just goes to show you. And the point I was making there is that when you only have one ship, just trying to get double ships back when you're that high up, you lose multiple ships just trying to get double ships back. So any type of a world record with just one ship would be pretty pointless.
There are a few other settings on the game. Have you ever considered possibly going for the marathon record, or there's also a rapid fire setting?
Yeah, after I broke the record recently, I thought maybe I'll give the rapid fire a try. I've seen it, the score posted at TG, and I couldn't really tell a difference in the machine firing any faster. I couldn't literally feel a difference at all. I don't know if, you know, maybe my board's broken or something. I don't know, but it fired at exactly the same rate. So I was like, well, this seems kind of weird. I don't know. I didn't. What it would do is if you held the fire button down, it would continue to throw bullets out at an even pace. But that pace is not going to help you because things get in between that firing sequence. So I didn't find that to be helpful either. So rapid fire, no. Marathon, that is an amazing record that was set, you know, more than almost 30 years ago now, I believe. And it's huge. It's 16 million. And for those who don't know, you can win as many free ships as the game will provide you, up to 1 million. And then you play off those as long as you possibly can. Galaga doesn't award free ships after 1 million. So I think it's in the neighborhood of about 20 ships that you could accrue, and you run with that for as long as you can. And a gentleman named Steve Krogman back in the 80s, I believe 89 if I'm not mistaken, ran that up to 16 million, and that is very impressive. I do believe if you look at my last record, 4.5 million on only 5 ships. So, you know,
you're on pace.
I'm on pace, but boy, that's but you get tired after, you know, 10 or 12 hours. I see these guys that break these records that are, you know, 2 or 3 days of continuous playing, and I'll tell you, I'm not built for that. I don't know how they stay awake that long, you know.
Yeah, we've interviewed a couple of them, and I always say the same thing you just said. I'd be falling asleep.
I know, and you really, with the Galagas, you really want to know that you're on pace for it, because I think we talked about this at Iowa. We tried to figure out how long we guesstimate that would be, and I think it's about 13 to 14 hours. So, I mean, you don't want to get to 11 hours and say, well, gee, let me give that another try. I mean, it's an all-day thing to begin with. So you definitely want to get this tournament setting where you try to run up as many as you can on just 5 ships is great practice for the marathon record.
We were talking about Phil Day a little bit ago. Unlike some of the other, famous rivalries in competitive gaming, you and Phil have a pretty close relationship, right?
Phil's a really nice guy, and back when he was trying to break my record, he called me from Australia, and he introduced himself. He's like, and he's got that accent, which I won't try to impersonate here, but he calls me up. I'm going to break your record. I'm really close. I said, hey, how can I help you out? What kind of tips can I give you? And we talked about his game, what he was doing. He sent me a DVD of his gameplay, and I just said, hey, you don't You just got to have the right game. I mean, your skills are all there, and you'll do it. You'll do it, and he did. And I was very happy for him. And we got to meet each other in Iowa. We hung out for the time that we were down there, had a blast, had a really good time. He's a really, really nice guy. And when I broke my record recently, he called me right up, congratulated me, and he thought that would stand for a while. He wrote an article in which he tried to predict who the next Galaga record holder would be. A gentleman whose name escapes me right now, and I apologize, but I guess he's very, very good. And yes, and he's chasing the record now, so I'm going to be excited to see him get it if he does. And I know he's practicing for it now, but when I saw that article, I mean, that put a fire under me for sure. I mean, I pulled the Galaga out, and I'm like, Phil Day and his prediction are going down. You know? Absolutely. So Phil indirectly helped me a lot.
Are you still, I know you've beaten the record and you have it, but do you still play it like every once in a while, or?
You know, I haven't played it once since I broke that record, because in my case, I was trying twice a day for about 3 months until I did it. And you just tend to walk away from it until you have that challenge, that next challenge of a score to take down. But I do want to push myself to, I'd like to run my TGTS record up another 2 million. You know, I thought I was going to do that in the game that I had, you know, having beaten his score by over 1 million and having not lost a ship. But within 300,000 points, I lost them all right away. So, you know, once, you know how it is with the games that you play. Anywhere you've been once, you know you can get back there again. So it's a matter of getting back there again and then just having a little better luck. I'd like to raise that score by about 2 more million, and then I think I would be done with that. I would go for the marathon at that point for sure.
But Phil Day has told me on record in Iowa, and actually off record since then, that he claims he's retired and that
Right.
he's not going to be trying to take this back at all. Do you believe him?
Well, I think that's a little silly, but he may actually never want to play the game again. I don't know. I don't know why he wouldn't want to. He got a lot of goodwill and a lot of I mean the whole thing with these video games, there's a lot of joy that comes from breaking these records. The people you meet, the places that you get to go. Being in Iowa was this summer, and I know Phil will still be at all those, but I know he wants to come back there with a record. I believe he does. He doesn't have a machine right now. He was in Australia when he broke the record. He has since moved to Canada, so he doesn't actually have a machine. So he'd need to get a machine. But he has told me recently that he does have his eye on the marathon record. That's the one he wants to go for.
Well, like you had said, that is a pretty impressive score on that marathon one.
Yeah, it
Not
is.
an easy thing to chase.
It's doable. I know it's doable. I know it can be done, but it isn't going to be easy, and it has stood for a great number of years. What do you know the actual date on that? It escapes my mind right now.
I don't off the top of my head, but I know it's been decades though.
Yeah, it absolutely has. So it's a very, very that's a good record. I like in the King of Kong, they mentioned Galaga right up front as one of the top 5 arcade games. So that record right there for me is something that I really want to break.
Yeah, well, and came out the same year as Donkey Kong, so we have its 30th anniversary this year, along with Ms. Pac-Man's another good classic. Those three. I'll turn 30 this year. So are you going to be appearing at IVGOF this year at all to celebrate that?
Yeah, I am. Walter sent me an email the other day that was very nice and asked me if I would serve to help select incoming inductees for this next year. And I don't know if that involves coming out there, but I told him I'd like to participate in that. And yeah, I would be there this summer. Are you planning on being there?
Oh yeah, we will definitely.
Yeah,
be
we will
there.
definitely be there.
Absolutely. Yeah, I had a lot of fun there. I had a lot of fun, and when I left there last year, I planned on coming back right away. Met a lot of people, had a great time.
Well, Now, most champions I've noticed usually answer no to the question I'm about to ask, but have you ever considered trying to go for a Galaga record on any other platforms at all? You know, a console or anything?
Every single one of them, actually. I'd like, you know, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I would like to see my name listed under all the platforms for that game. Why wouldn't you? I mean, I'm a one-trick pony. I play only one game. I'm not versatile in a bunch of other games. And I wish I was good at Robotron or Defender, but I'm not. So I'm curious to see. I don't know if you guys have tried Galaga on Xbox Live. I haven't given that a try, but I'm wondering how close it plays to the real thing. And I think that's one that I would like to try to get the score on as well.
It's a really good mod. It is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's close. It's really good.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. Why do you think you hear no from most of the other people? Just because they only like the arcade stand-up version? They're frustrated. The other games seem like a knockoff to them, and they don't play the same?
You know, it's there seems to it's some of that. I think I don't know if some of them are just really focused on keeping their world record. You know, so then if it gets broken, they'll be, you know, ready and willing to go out there and get it. Or if I think that maybe for some people there's I don't want to say a level of arrogance, but an air about, you know, when you have it on the arcade, what's the point of having it on the NES? Or what's the point of having it on the Genesis when I got the real record?
I think it's the old stigma that just survives from like 30 years ago, especially with the the older players who do still look at the console systems as the inferior version of all these games. So I would guess that most of them just think, what's the point? That's what I think.
But I'm always with you. I always think it'd be cool, you know, if you're the Galaga champion, wouldn't it be cool to have your name listed under the NES and the Genesis and the Atari and the, you know.
64.
Another cool one is they do have a separate setting for that 1981 machine, which is supposed to be very close to the original arcade.
Which machine is that you're referring to?
Miss Pac-Man one?
Yeah, the Class of 81 it's called, which is a Galaga Ms. Pac-Man combo machine.
Right. Yeah, I've played on that. What they've done with that machine, you know, they have one up at the movie theater by my house. It's on a 25-inch monitor, I believe, and they don't seem to have made any type of adjustment for the video. I think they just extrapolated or you know, stretched the picture out to fit the screen, and it looks pretty. It's kind of pixelated. I mean, it plays fine, it's fun, but the video image on that really isn't. I'm quite surprised they didn't do something about that. But such as it is a fun game to play.
Sure,
absolutely.
I believe that was the version you and I were playing on after hours in the restaurant up down in Iowa when you were teasing Steve about his inability to get double ships. So, Andrew, thanks a lot for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much for the Team Weeby t-shirt. And where can our viewers find these if they like
get those? Steve makes those available through his website, steveweeby.com.
Sweet.
And do you have any other things available that maybe you want to plug for us real quick? For your business or no?
I don't. I really don't. Some people have contacted me about some type of a Galaga shirt, and I want to put one together. I created a very nice one, and I put it on eBay and got a stop immediately order from Namco, and I'm like, okay, for sure, absolutely, you know.
The old C&D.
Some of the video game companies are really chasing people around if they reproduce that stuff on shirt, and rightfully so. I mean, it's their intellectual property and all of that. We've just seen some of the companies not really care, and so you roll the dice. But when you get that, so I would like to do something Galaga, but there are some licensing fees involved.
Well, again, thanks so much for joining us, Andrew, and congratulations on your record.
Great job. Problem. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you down in Jersey
in March. And in Iowa as well.
Sweet. Of course.
We look forward to it.
Guys, take care.
Thanks. Yeah, you too.
Yep.
We have a new segment here on the Twin Galaxies show called Gamer Beware, where we let you know all about the non-working game accessories, video games that just ain't patched yet, and anything wrong in the gaming realm. First up, This has personally affected me, of course, being the Rock Band champion. Still on Rock Band 3 after 3 months. The overdrive issue with the microphone is still not working, and if you are unfamiliar with this problem, it's when you turn up your stereo really loud to play Rock Band and sing, you cannot activate overdrive to save your friend on guitar or drums or the keyboards. It's just broken. It's an automatic volume adjustment that they still haven't patched, and it looks like they're not going to patch it. Thanks a lot, Harmonix. You wrecked Rock Band for me. Next thing we have are 2 gaming headsets that I've been able to test out, and been reading a lot of reviews with other gamers online that they are just junk. The Earforce DPX21 and the Earforce PX21 for the PS3 by Turtle Beach. These headsets work great. They work for your Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Mac, even the Wii. It works for all video games, which is it's really comfortable, but your microphone slides down constantly, and they come out of the package that way broken. Now, the Turtle Beach headsets for the Xbox are great. They do not have the flaw that the PlayStation 3 ones have. And the other headsets to avoid are the Trinitron Tri-X 180AX Universal Gaming headsets. They're comfortable, everything works right, but they just don't work. The wires are cheap, they're frayed, they don't last more than 2 weeks after wrapping the cords up. They're about 70 to 80 bucks. I suggest not buying them. The opinions and views expressed in the following video are for entertainment purposes only. They do not reflect the views of Twin Galaxies, Persistent Productions, or any of its affiliates. We are on the phone with Matthew Bradford, the editorial staff director of Twin Galaxies. Been with us for about 1 year. How you doing, Matt?
I'm great. How you doing, Mike and Mike?
Having a lovely evening in Canada, right?
Yeah, I've actually been with TG for 3 years.
3 years? But you've been editorial staff for 1 year, right?
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. So the other 2 years don't count.
They count. So over the past year, what's been like your most memorable experience being editorial director?
I'd have to say going to Big Bang. That's where I met you and Josh there. That was a pretty neat experience. Just getting to meet Billy, riding home on the bus with Steve Wiebe to the airport. Just that whole experience. I hope we do it again this year.
Over the past year, what has been your biggest story that you've written for the website?
Well, I remember I was I had to actually go to a business conference, and that's the same time that I think Hank Chien first appeared with his score for Donkey Kong. So I had to sneak out a lot to kind of post that story. And I remember kind of talking to Hank back and forth and going through the whole rigmarole getting that up. And that was a really exciting story.
Very cool.
That's to say that. And then interviewing Allison Hayslip was also just kind of a personal triumph.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of had a geek crush on her too, right? So
I think we all do.
I mean, it's really neat. I've gotten to talk to a lot of cool people. I mean, I spent 3 hours on the phone with Todd Rogers one night, and that was kind of a surreal experience. So, you know, it's interesting. There's a lot of interesting people in this business. Is it a business? I don't know if it's a business. Hobby. We'll go with hobby.
We don't see your name in the Twin Galaxies scoreboard. Why is that? Are you holding out on sending in some world records or some scores?
I go under some aliases.
Oh.
No, I have no world records at all. Yeah, I was thinking about this because I know when we talked in Big Bang, you were kind of giving me the grills for not having a world record yet. So I went home and I bought Mega Man 4.
Oh, jeez.
I know. And I tried playing that, and I just realized I'm more of the gamer that just loves consuming as many games as I can. So when I'm done with a game, I'm typically done with it for a while. I might come back to it, but there's so many games I love to play that maybe it's my attention span. I need to keep trying new things. So that's my long-winded answer for why I don't have a world record yet. I'm trying.
I think you could have stopped at, I bought Mega Man 4 and tried to get a record in that game.
Wait, is that a bad move? See, I didn't do no research beforehand.
It's an impossibly hard game.
Is it? Yeah, well,
Yes.
I started on the Toadman stage, and I was rocking that stage. And then for the next month, I'm just killing myself trying to, like, speed through the other one. So I don't know, what's a good game? Like, for a guy, I love video games. I don't know if I've got the mad skills
Yeah.
set world record.
I encourage everyone trying to get a high score to play Bubble Bobble, just to bother Josh.
Okay, Bubble Bobble. All right, I'll write that one down. But you see, I mean, like, I love playing multiplayer, like Assassin's Creed multiplayer, Halo, or just a bunch of games, and I consider myself good in those. But you know, how do you measure that except getting into professional tournaments? And I don't think I'm going to be doing that anytime soon.
Gotcha.
Very cool. Just send a score for new Super Mario Bros. Wii, no matter what it is. You know.
Yeah, I hear that no one's picking on that one, so I'll go for that. Well, what about you guys? Mike, I know you're a world record. What about the other Mike? Do you have a world record in there?
In the December podcast,
Yeah.
he is the Virtual Cop 2 world record holder for Sega Dreamcast.
Which should not count.
That counts.
Yeah, I was going to say,
It's a very-
with the virtual part up.
So it's not verified yet.
Yeah.
Because they haven't sent it in, but
Well, you know,
pending.
busy guy.
No, we're all busy guys, yeah, for sure. That's interesting. No, I realize, being part of Twin Galaxies, you almost have to have a world record behind you, but I wouldn't take that as me not wanting to. It's just me not having the skills to, and admiring people who do.
Matt, thanks for all your hard work over the past 3 years for Twin Galaxies. It's been greatly appreciated, updating that home page for sure.
Cool, thanks, Mike, and I much appreciate you guys putting together this show. It's added a lot to the front page for sure.
Well, thanks for the opportunity too.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, absolutely. I've never met you, Mike, but I've seen you, so nice to virtually.
It's like you met me. You've met me.
I've watched you in the dark in my basement. So.
Ooh.
That's unsettling.
Well, looking to 2011, Matt, you got any games that you're eyeing? Maybe do a review for our homepage?
2011 is going to be amazing for games. I mean, Little Big Planet 2 just came out, and I'm waiting to pick that up. Dead Space 2, Dragon Age 2, hopefully a new Beyond Good and Evil. It's a huge year for games, so what we're going to be trying to do is just, and on the games that you can do world records with, what we're going to try to do is partner with the major companies and get some really good promotions going too.
Very neat.
I think that's key. I mean, absolutely love and respect all the classic gamers out there and all the classic gaming that's going on. And I want to see that kind of passion move more, get more modern gamers on board too, so we can all get together in the same hobby. So
I think that's,
a lot of games do that.
I think that's something we're all doing, trying to do at Twin Galaxies. I mean, every world record is important just as the other. I mean, some just get more media publicity because the game's more popular, you know.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, some games have had 30 years to gain popularity, right? I mean, some game that's coming out this year could be the next classic 30 years down the road.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be a mistake to disregard a lot of the games that are coming out. Just
I
because
agree.
they're last year, just because, you know, they have that stigma of being a big budget title, because there's so much amazing work going on right now, and it would really be a discredit, and you'd be losing out on a lot of fun not to at least try them, right?
Right. It'd be a shame to ignore Bungie in favor of all those Intellivision fans out there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's not just Intellivision fans. I mean, everyone has their preference, but
Right.
I think gamers, to be a gamer means you love gaming, no matter what form. So if that means, like, I love playing all the classics, but I also love spending 4 hours in Grand Theft Auto, doing things I don't want to talk about on a podcast.
Well, thanks for joining us, Matt, and thanks for your continued work with Twin Galaxies, and we'll see you around. We'll see you at Avgoff, right?
Oh, yeah. Hopefully. I'll see you there.
Cool.
All right, take it easy, guys. That was
Thanks,
lots of
Matt.
fun.
Appreciate it. What up?
So we've talked about the Kong off,
Yep.
of course. This is going to be huge.
Yep.
March 19th and 20th, and all the great coverage you can get right here at the Twin Galaxies show. But, Mike, what's up now? What's coming out right now,
Well,
man?
that's kind of what I want to hear from you guys. What do you think should be coming out soon or has come out recently that you're really excited about? What about you, Josh?
Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Okay.
Awesome
Back.
game. Oh, yeah. Totally incredible game. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. My kids are loving it. It's great. Great two-player action. Diddy Kong's got a jetpack.
Oh, jeez, enough said.
Yeah, exactly.
Diddy Kong with a jetpack.
Exactly.
Sold.
What else is there to say?
Oh man.
Is the rhino in it? What's the rhino's name?
I don't know the rhino's name.
It's that rhino from Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah,
I don't know the rhino.
he's got a name. But anyway,
Yeah,
like Spiny.
like you said, Diddy Kong's got a jetpack.
That's sweet.
Done.
Done.
Dash Rendar style.
What about you, Nick?
Dash Rendar references. All right. Shadows of the Empire, great game.
Great game. Jetpack
Best Star Wars game ever, in my opinion.
It's hands down in my opinion.
It was a shooter, right?
It was
It's-
everything.
It's
It was
it's
everything.
part of it's a shooter, part of it is you're racing on a speeder bike,
Okay.
part of it you're flying in the snow speeder,
Outrider.
part of it you're flying in the Outrider, which is basically the Millennium Falcon.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Less
yeah.
cool, but
So,
still
Oh.
cool.
Dash Rendar, Shadows of the Empire. Good obscure video game reference. I like it.
I'm good that we got a good 5 minutes on that, too.
Yeah.
So,
The game I'm looking forward to and have been looking forward to since I was in high school is Duke Nukem Forever, which, with all intents and purposes, should be out a month from now.
wow.
Hopefully that'll be out, and seriously, this is, for me, easily the most anticipated game I can ever remember for me. I mean, I've been waiting for this game for so long that, I mean, the thing that's funny is, like, I don't really have any expectations for it. Like, all they have to do is release it, and I'm excited. Like, it doesn't really matter if the game's that good. Seriously, though. I'm still gonna play the heck out of it. So, Duke Nukem Forever. I just can't wait. It's gonna be great.
And we're banning you from any Chinese democracy
Yes, I'm not
references.
going to reference how long that took.
We're not making any comments
Just
about
say
the
people have
length
been
of.
waiting forever for this game.
Will there be signs like there was for Chinese democracy, though? The most anticipated video
Speaking
game in
of-
history.
If you want to get in on that early, you can buy the Borderlands Game of the Year edition, which comes with early entry into the demo for Duke Nukem Forever. Yeah, so, sold. One copy of Borderlands.
I did not know
You're
that.
welcome, Gearbox.
Yep. That sounds awesome. Just go out there. You have to buy it. Everyone has to buy this game. Because then they have to make more. Like 13 years from now, we can get another Duke Nukem game. That'll be so great.
That's awesome.
Happy 40th birthday, Nick. Here's
Duke Nukem Forever 2.
what about you, Mike? What are you looking forward to? And try not to make fun of Game Room.
I'm not going to make fun of
Okay.
Game Room because I'm not looking forward to anything. That's not true. I'm looking forward to Sunset Riders for Game Room because it's never coming out.
It's your Duke Nukem.
Yeah, it's my Duke Nukem Forever. It'll probably be better. Me personally, I'm really interested to see what Nintendo does with the 3DS that they just announced. I think it's a little expensive at
Yeah, how much?
$250.
Okay, yeah.
But
That's not that bad.
for glasses-free 3D, it's kind of cool.
It's the first thing out there that's glasses free.
Yeah, I'm also super interested in Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which looks fantastic. It's a DS game where you are a dead guy and you have to like jump into objects and possess them to solve puzzles, keep people from getting killed, and it's like a detective story. I'm pretty sure it's either by the people who did Phoenix Wright or the people that worked on it. Which is a really good DS game.
No,
So
that
yeah,
sounds
a lot of DS stuff I'm looking forward to. There's a lot of stuff coming out. But yeah, it's going to be a good year.
You know, there was a lot of talk about how the price tag was really steep on there. I mean, but $250, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, $250 is, it's not cheap, but I mean, when the Turbo Express came out in like 91, that cost like $300.
$299.
So, I mean, that was like 20 years ago when they were
Yeah.
charging more.
And
back then.
$1991 for a state of the art,
Yeah.
handheld
s-
video gaming system.
I suppose.
So I guess it's comparable, but that did fail.
Right.
No, I know.
Every console they've compared it to. It's like, oh, it's like the Atari Jaguar. Oh, well, that bombed as well. So every
That's true, I
time they're
guess.
pulling a price comparison, it's to a failed portable system that had like 20 games released.
Although, if it's half as cool as the Turbo Express,
That's true.
Turbo Express, although
it's
it may
still
have failed,
like the best handheld. It's still awesome.
It's very true.
I mean,
Amazing system.
it's kind of a bummer that, if you got your Turbo Express at home, your TV tuner doesn't work anymore because they switched it over to digital.
Jerks.
Still watch. For us here in Michigan, you can still watch Canadian.
Thank you,
stations.
U.S.
It's
government.
great, yeah.
I got a
Yeah,
patent.
us
I
here
got
in
a patent
Detroit, yeah,
coming.
we still get a few Canadian
we can still
stations
watch
then.
it.
Don't worry. I got a patent coming for a digital tuner for the Game Gear and the,
Oh, that would be great, dude. I'd get my TV back.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to watch sports without my Game Gear tuner, you know?
Seriously though, Turbo Express. If you've never even heard of it, check it out. It's really sweet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, well, and you know what could, I guess, a comparison that we could make, I guess, if we're gonna, you know, talk about the Turbo Express, is the Turbo Express didn't have its own games. It played the games from the TurboGrafx 16.
It's true.
And this system is going to play the games not from a
hope so.
A screen system, not from a console system,
Right.
but it is going to play.
It kind of has to.
You know, it is going to play the games from your Nintendo DS.
Right.
So
I also wouldn't be surprised if this year we see at least an announcement of a new Xbox. Maybe not a new PlayStation, but at least an announcement of some sort of new Xbox that has some sort of backwards compatibility. It has to function, and they're way overdue for a new console announcement. So.
Yeah, well, it's because the Xbox 360 is such a good system.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
And there's a lot of dollars sunk into the marketplace and all
Yep.
that stuff, so they have to figure out how to not hose the people that have spent a ton of money on downloadable games that
definitely.
won't work on the next system.
Exactly. Well, things to check out
Yeah.
in 2011. Not to mention all the things they can check out on our own show. Check
Yes,
out the
indeed.
Twin Galaxies show every month. Twin Galaxies show live edition at least once a month right here on twingalaxies.com. Thanks for joining us.